All right, everyone. Welcome back to the Abundance Formula podcast. Oh my goodness. I don't know what we were thinking, but we got a puppy the weekend of July 4, and I have been getting my butt kicked by this puppy ever, ever since then. We have been looking at getting another dog for several months now. Our current dog is literally the best dog in the world. And we knew we were screwed when we got him because he was just so good. Didn't chew anything. He was just sweet. He obeys, like all the things. Potty training was easy. Like he just was the easiest dog. And he was a rescue, but and this second dog is a rescue as well. I think rescues really are the sweetest. And I feel like they just are so grateful to have been rescued. So I feel like they have a really great foundation, anyways, most of the time. But August was rescued from more of like an abusive situation. So our first dog, our oldest dog, so for him, he was just terrified of everything. So what we had to work on with him was building his confidence, like him knowing he was allowed to play with toys. Like he never would have dreamed to chew a shoe or anything because you could tell he thought he was going to get beat if he touched anything in the house. So it took us a while to say, like, this is your toy. You can chew this. You can play with this. You can leave the dog bed. You're allowed to walk around the upstairs. So like for us with him, he wouldn't even go down our stairs for over a month. He still doesn't like to go on the tile floor, but that actually is kind of nice because then he's not all up in our feet when we're trying to cook in the kitchen. And people think we trained him to do that. So, I mean, again, he was so terrified of most things that basically the things we wanted him to gain confidence around, then we worked him into that. So we had to do that for him. The second pup is a rescue pup. His name is Signal. We got him from this amazing rescue foster home, who actually was started by one of my friends from high school. She's called it Mutts on the Mountain, and they work through an adoption agency called Treasure Troopers. So they're like a little branch of that. So we rescued him from Signal Mountain. She lives on Signal Mountain, and it's kind of it feels like a country song. His group of pups were actually born on Lookout Mountain in a tree hollow, strays. So he wasn't from an abusive situation. So he has all the confidence in the world, but he's so sweet. And he's bold. He's like, what's the word? Um, Assertive. Like he's going to be a great pup guard dog. He's a big boy. He's got the biggest paws. We are going to do the DNA test to see what kind of mix he is because he's a mix. He's gorgeous. If any of you guys follow me on Instagram, you've seen him. He is gorgeous. But man, is he a roustabout. So he's got all the confidence in the world. So he's like a normal puppy, which we've never had to deal with, Kellen and I, on our own because our other dog, August, was our first puppy that we ever got together. So this puppy wants to chew all the things. He's into all the stuff. I mean, he truly was like acquiring a human toddler, it feels like. Obviously, I've got two kids, so I know that he's not as hard as a human toddler, but it's the same. Like his mouth, everything needs to go in his mouth because it's a textural thing. That's how puppies explore, just like how babies explore. It's how they understand things, is kind of through the sensory of their mouth in the beginning. So he could swallow everything. He's just into everything. He's got to, you're trying to put your shoes on for work and he's knocking the shoe out of your hand because he's just wants to be in it all, and he's very extroverted, which I love because he's great with the kids. He's very gentle with them. But he is a handful. And potty training, he's exploring all around the house. So it's harder to monitor where is he in the house, get him outside in time. As long as I'm paying attention, he does great with that. But, I'm working from home when I'm home and I have two other kids. So it's sometimes I'll forget and then I'm cleaning up poop. And just an example of my life the other day. The other day I was training a client. Sailor comes out with that client and she's got dog poop on her. She's like, "Mommy, the dog pooped." I'm like, "How do you have poop on you?" This is what I want to know, is why is the dog's poop all over your dress and your hands? Like, what is happening right now? Like, that was like, oh. So then not only did I have to tell the client, okay, this is your next circuit, I will return, then go clean her up, clean up his mess while he's also knocking me over. So anyway, so it's been a lot of that over the last few weeks. And then his latest fun thing he's decided to throw in, because I was giving him some more independence. He loves to play outside. So it was helping me to be able to get work stuff done, to just let him play in the backyard. But now he's decided he wants to eat rocks. And so I knew he was putting rocks in his mouth, but I thought he's probably kind of just feeling them, working them back out of his mouth. No, he's swallowing them. And so the other day when Kellen was trying to work from home, he was throwing up rocks all day. Like 5 or 7 times, Kellen said he threw up rocks. It was like, So now I'm afraid to like leave him out unmonitored because he's just going to eat rocks, which, if they're small enough, they'll either throw them up or they'll poop them out. But if they don't, if they got too many rocks, like you could have to do surgery on their stomach. And I'm like, oh my word, dude, come on. I was just starting to feel like I was getting a semblance of my life back. And then you start eating rocks. So, anyways, he's a ball. He's a blast. He's so sweet, so loving. He and August are getting along great. We're hoping that he's going to help keep August young. He's 10. So I'm hoping that this puppy will he still wants to romp and play, August does. So we're hoping the puppy and him can romp and play, and that'll save Kellen and I some energy. Of course, it's great responsibility for the girls to learn, but it's been a whirlwind. So, and then of course, school is starting soon. Malia and Sailor start August 12th. So we've done the back to school shopping and figuring out what everyone's extracurriculars are going to be. So it's just been really crazy and hectic over here. But all of that life update to tell you that this ties into our topic, because today's little episode, we are on pillar number 4. So if you are new tuning in, you can backtrack to the previous pillars if you want to start from the beginning. Otherwise, listen to this and want to go back to as part of our Strong Summer mini series. So pillar number 1 was working on your hydration goals. Pillar number 2 was working on your nutrition goals. Pillar number 3 was specifically prioritizing your protein goals. And now we're doing pillar number 4, which is your movement or your exercise goals. And then I am going to do a pillar number 5 on recovery. So pillar number 4 goes into hitting our exercise goals. And so I wanted to address the top 3 reasons people don't hit their exercise goals. What's the excuse, or not even excuse? Some people, they come at it from the angle it's an excuse. And some people they truly believe they have these limitations. So I'm going to help try to bust through these limitations with strategies. So we'll go through each of the 3 with strategies to overcome those, so that maybe you can start implementing them and again make this your strongest summer yet and really set you up to thrive through the fall and winter when we tend to feel our worst. I want to help you gain the momentum so that by fall and winter through the holidays, you've really got a great habit built so that you're not thwarted by the busyness that comes with school, that comes with all the holidays and the events and the things. So let's go first with, the top 3 reasons: lack of time, lack of energy, lack of motivation. So let's start with time first. Now, what I like to do with this one for people is our concept of time is really a mindset shift. It's a reframe. And this might hurt some people's feelings, but it is the truth. So it's not that you don't have the time. It's that it's not a priority to you. It's not a big enough priority to you. So let that digest for a second. Okay. There are some of the busiest billionaires in this world that their schedules are so much more full than all of ours. And if you've read their books, if you've listened to their motivational talks, prioritizing their health is always part of their daily routine. And what those people have done, because they are the max busy. I mean, all of us are busy, but like just using them as the example, they are max busy, but the way they make it work is it's truly like it's part of their business plan. Okay. It's literally time blocked in their schedule or it won't happen. So it is to them like a meeting. They have a Zoom call with so-and-so at 10 and it's 20 minutes. They've got another Zoom call with another company at this time. It's 20 minutes. It's booked, time blocked. Here's when I have a break. Here's when I eat. Here's my time block for lunch. Here's my time block for this. Like everything in a super busy person's life that is successful in their career or in their family endeavors, time blocks. It's just the only way. You have to think about it that way. If you really are crunched for time, if you really are that busy, then time blocking and making it number 1, a big enough priority to you to be considered time blockable, worth time blocking. So I think that step number 1 is, and we'll go into the motivation thing, which is what helps make it important enough to you for it to be a priority, to make it onto your calendar. Because here's the example I give people. Okay, so you don't have time. Let's take it from a business standpoint. So if you're a career person, if you work hard and a lot, if somebody told you, if you work for yourself or you work for someone else, if they were like, this business deal we just signed on requires you to do this activity, whatever the activity is of the work, in a 30-minute time block. I need you to find it somewhere in your day to do this 30-minute time block for these deliverables that gets us this monetary contract. You would do it. Like, you're going to make it work. You're going to find a way. It doesn't matter if it was challenging. Like, it is part of your job description, and it's important to either your boss or it's important to you because you see the gain, you see the value in making it in the times, like making it into your calendar. So you're going to make it work. If you know there is a literal monetary link, if somebody, even if in regards to exercise, if they're like, if you will work out for 30 minutes, I'm going to pay you to work out for 30 minutes. There's a value to, you'd find a way to make it work, right? If I can do this and I'm going to get a gain out of it that I find is valuable, you will find a spot for it. Or it's just like when you think of it for things with your kids, like you could be so busy with work and family and the kids' current stuff, but if your kid really desires to add on a certain extracurricular or to take lessons in something or to be a part of something their friends are doing that's at a, like, you're going to move mountains for your child to make it happen. Whether, you know what I'm saying? Whether it's you're coordinating or you move things around, like, there is, put nothing beyond a parent to make something happen for the sake of their child's desires, you know? So that's what I think people make the disconnect when it's associated with our health or our wellness, is we're like, we don't have time to do it. But if it was linked to your financial situation or to your kids, you will make it happen. And that is the proof in the pudding, that it's not about the time, it's about it being a big enough priority to you. So then it breaks down into, if it's not a priority for you, not a big enough priority for you yet, is it because you don't really recognize the level of value it has for you? Or is it that you're just not being organized enough? You just haven't sat down to make a plan, so that all, because you are busy, like busy people, you can't just throw things in and hope it works out. You're just rolling the dice. You know, you have to think about it and plan it to be in your day if it's really going to work and happen consistently and not cause more chaos, you know? So it's either that you haven't seen the true value of it to put it in your calendar, or you just haven't prioritized taking a moment to look on your calendar and see where it could work. So one of the things I wanted you to think about too, even monetarily with your health, I'm sure you guys have all heard this quote that, of course, health is wealth, right? So don't leave money on the table. But like, if you don't make time for your wellness, then you'll be forced to make time for your illness. I'm not sure who said that quote, but it's the truth. Like, if you don't take time for your wellness, you will be forced to make time for your illness one day. And then just what people don't realize, even as far as money goes, that statistically through studies, the people that prioritize movement or some form of exercise consistently, like 3 days a week, they saved an extra $3,000 in medical costs. And this is why a lot of businesses actually, like bigger businesses that have the funds to have a corporate wellness program, in Oldham Strong in our business, we have done corporate wellness for companies that have the extra monetary value to input into that, because they've seen statistically that their employees have less days off, like need less days off for sickness. So therefore they're having to pay less out if they, you know, provide insurance for their employees, they're paying less there. And the morale of the group is better. The focus and performance in their actual job is better. So a lot of companies that have the capacity to have a corporate wellness focus is part of their business plan. It's a key cornerstone of their business plan, because they see, even monetarily, they make more money when their people are healthy, when they have supported their people in optimizing their health. I mean, it's true statistically. And I've been hired, my husband and I have been hired to fulfill that for different companies. So when you think it may not even have a monetary gain, if you're someone that's kind of career focused or whatever, and you think it's taking money, it's taking time from you and therefore money, I promise you, once you get in your groove, you're going to make more money. You're going to perform better at what you do. You're going to have more energy to do more towards your career. And that's stuff we're going to talk about later when we get into the energy section. But there's a lot of value in movement and exercise that has nothing to do with aesthetics, let alone health costs and things like that. So here's some strategies now. We've talked about kind of just the perspective shift around the time that you truly have available. So now let's talk some strategies. So the plan, you just got to plan, as I said. So what day a week do you think, what day or days a week do you think that you could incorporate something? How much time do you think you can incorporate? And if you're starting from zero, don't overdo it. Like start with 10 minutes and it can be a walk. It doesn't have to be a weightlifting session. Like start as simple as you need it to be and wean in as you need to focus on consistency and focus on the actual action of putting it into your calendar. So what days per week? What time of day do you think might work? How long? If you're going to do a workout, or what is the activity going to be? Are you going to do a more cardiovascular activity like walking or biking or swimming, or what are you going to do? Are you going to weight lift? If you're going to weight lift, what body part do you, I mean, as detailed as you can get, the easier it's going to be, because as the other chaotic things are happening in your day, then when you come to do the workout, you don't waste whatever time you have trying to think of what you want to do, trying to decide. Let's eliminate some of those ahead of time. So what body part are you going to work that day? How long? And where are you going to do it? Are you going to do it from home? Are you going to do it at work? Are you going to do it at a gym? So think about that. Pre-decide. Okay. Based on the other things you have going on in your day, are you going to be too busy and maybe you're just going to do it when you get home or before you leave home? Are you going to do it at work? Are you going to go on your lunch break? Where are you going to put it? Everything like that. What clothes are you going to wear? Lay them out ahead of time. Sleep in them if you have to. I do that. Like as far as I have figured out things work for me best very first thing in the morning. And I don't care who sees me. I'm doing it from home. So frankly, sometimes I'll roll out of bed and literally just put tennis shoes on with my pajamas that I'm in. So I don't even have to change clothes. Remove as many barriers to entry as you can to keep the goal being consistency. So whatever you have to do and however much you can detailed think about, do it. And in my opinion, as far as plugging in the exercise, if you can do it, so working on the time of day part, if you can do it very first thing in the morning, it tends to be the best for a couple reasons, scientifically and for schedule. Like I said, a lot of the people that are some of the billionaires of the world do it first thing in the morning, because scientifically it does start your day off better. It gets you, number one, you can be the most consistent oftentimes in general in the morning, because you're doing it before the day launches, before the other variables even have time to ensue, before the kid gets sick at school and you get the phone call at work and then you have to leave work, get the kid, and you were going to do your workout on your lunch break, but now you don't get a lunch break because you're taking your kid to the doctor. You know what I'm saying? So like there's so many variables that can literally launch once your work day starts, whether even if you're a stay-at-home mom, like ish when your kids tend to wake up that's when your work day starts. And Lord knows what can occur. They could walk out with dog poop on them. You know what I'm saying? So when you're supposed to get on the treadmill. So people tend to have the most consistency if they do it very first thing in the morning. It launches your focus, up levels your mood, gives your body a literal energy kick to start the day. I get it. Trust me, I do my workouts during the school year at 4 a.m. and during the summer I get up at 5 a.m. I get it initially as you first roll out of bed. You aren't hyped. But I promise you, as soon as you get those legs moving, you get woke up. And by the time you're finished with it all, and especially if you have to go to work, you are so freaking alert. It's ridiculous. Like you are so much more ready to start your work day or start launching with the kids. You are awake now, as opposed to starting with a little bit of lethargy and the kids have 20,000 demands, or your boss has all these deliverables that you need to have checked off, or you got to lead the team meeting or whatever it is. So I promise you, you'll be more alert. It also kickstarts your metabolism to do this first thing in the morning and can optimize some more fat burn if you do it first thing in the morning as well. And again, it's been shown to improve sleep patterns, whether it's morning or at any point, adding in that exercise, making sure you get it, you're going to sleep better at night. And that's going to play in when we talk later about energy. But you are going to start sleeping a lot harder, like a lot deeper, a lot better once you get your body moving. And sleep is a big issue for a lot of people. They don't sleep good, so then they don't have the energy in the day to do the workout, right? If you can get started, that's going to improve, unless of course you have deeper health issues related to your sleep beyond, being static. So the good thing about afternoon workouts is obviously because you have had a little day under your belt, you'll have maybe more strength to lift heavier per se. But other than that, scientifically, a lot of the best benefits lean towards mornings. But here's the key to remember. The best time to exercise is when you will consistently do it. That's what I tell people. That is your winning formula. From the choice of activities you're going to do, how long you're going to do it, where it plugs in your day, whatever you can, and how many times a week, whatever you can most consistently do is the winning formula. You will get better results if you do a small thing consistently every day, round the clock, like clockwork, than the person that goes so hard for 2 or 3 weeks. Then they're burnt out. They stop for 2 weeks, hop back in for another hard week, but then they're burnt out after that. So then they take another rest break for a week. Like this stop start business, even if you've gone so hard and burned so many calories and done all the things right in those very short focused times, you are going to, even if it's someone that say in the fitness competition world, you go hard for a 12-week prep, but then you are so burnt out from that. Now you have 12 more weeks of going haywire the opposite direction. You're more behind than if you would have, like people who say do a fitness competition to get in shape initially. It's their motivation, but they didn't really learn how to do the simple daily lifestyle steps. So then when they finish their show, they go the opposite direction for the next 3 months. Now they're back further than when they first started. So again, the slow, steady steps launches into this thing called the compound effect. And I'll get into a few things because this is actually a book and it's one of my favorite books. And I'm going to give you guys a few quotes from that of encouragement in just a second. But so the best time to exercise is when you'll consistently do it. And if you really are so busy that you can't even envision where you would work out or something specifically, lean in with just incorporating movement into your work day. So take like walk when you're on a call, like if you're on a call, like not a Zoom call, but on a regular call, walk while you're doing that. These little mini treadmills now they have that can go onto your stand-up desks or just, you know what I mean? Anything, then those are things that you can do. Even when on a Zoom call, you can walk on a treadmill. I have so many friends and clients that do that. They've got a stand-up desk that can be low or high. You can even get like if your office that you're at has a normal desk and they're not going to fund helping you get a stand-up or adjustable desk, they're not that expensive. You can get them. The little mini treadmills are under $100. Stick that under there. And as you're doing your Zoom calls, like some people, that's all they do all day is sit, Zoom calling or doing statistics, whatever it is they're doing on the computer, emails, what admin, whatever their static job is, sedentary job is, you can change that up so fast by getting a little mini treadmill and a stand-up desk option and walk. That's amazing. Or again, when you get little breaks, walk on that break or do some little squats on that break. You know, think about little ways you can just incorporate movement or make a step goal for yourself. If it's the 10,000 steps. And so you purposely walk 5 times up the hallway before your next call. What, you know, setting little goals like that, whatever is digestible for you but gets you moving, that all compounds. That all works. I think somehow people think that, or I know people think this because they've asked me, is does it need to be an hour-long workout for it to be worth it? Or does it need to be 30 minutes for it to be worth it? Is 10 minutes worth it? Is 5 minutes worth it? Yes. And you can really get a lot done if you make that a very focused time dedicated as well. So that's my next tip is do short in the beginning if you need to, do short focused workouts. Again, pre-plan what it is you want to do. If you're not someone that knows how to work out, get a trainer or there's so many great fitness apps. I love First Form's fitness app. They have workouts for you. You can choose what kind, if you want it to be a HIIT workout, if you want it to be a weightlifting one, like there's all kinds of options. Pick one of those. You know, there's so many free ebooks you can find online. You know, like there's so many options or cheap ebooks that you can buy. I have ebooks. Like you can get things that can be your roadmap. And so then you don't have to think about what the workout's going to be. You just get to it and nail the 20 to 30 minute thing or the 10-minute thing, preset what it's going to be and launch and do it. You don't have to think about it. So just get to it. Stay off your phone during that time. I can't tell you how much you can get done for exercise in even 10 minutes if you don't touch your phone the entire time. You can do so much and use your watch and take very short rest breaks. Like if you need an intense but short or, you know, just something that's challenging, it doesn't have to be intense in the sense of like HIIT workout or something like that. That's very overwhelming for people because those are intense. Just a focused, really good muscle workout, even in 10 minutes. Obviously, if you have more, you can get more done in a focused 30 minutes than 10, but it's that 10 can be so beneficial. And if you can rinse and repeat that 10 flawlessly, like, because 10 minutes not overwhelming. For me, for example, my cardio isn't running every day or doing something intense. I roll out of bed because I do it really early. So I know that I can flawlessly roll out of bed in my pajamas and put tennis shoes on, and I can do that and walk on the treadmill at a brisk pace. I can do that flawlessly. I don't have to overwhelm about thinking about walking on the treadmill at 4 in the morning. I could not run consistently at 4 a.m. in the morning. I wouldn't have the push to do that. I'd need my show date for a fitness competition to make myself do that. And then I would struggle. I would have struggles with burnout with that. But I can roll out of bed and walk. That's fine. It wakes me up, feels good. And then I lift weights after that because then I'm more awake after doing my cardio first personally. So then I can have a really good lift session. But it's not overwhelming to me to think about doing a walk for my cardio for 30 minutes for 5 to 6 days a week. But it would be overwhelming if I thought I had to do Orange Theory for my cardio at 4 a.m. 6 days or 5 days a week. You know what I'm saying? So again, choose activities as well that are fun for you or that you think you might like, or if you need to switch it up, pre-think about what you need to do to keep yourself entertained, not bored, able to do it consistently so you're not overwhelmed and dread it to get it done. Those are things to think about as well. Get a few things for at home. I always recommend this, even if you prefer to go to the gym. Sometimes stuff does happen, and so have a backup. So if you didn't get it in the morning because something happened and you weren't gonna be able to get it in at work, as your fail safe, you've got stuff at home. Or same thing if you didn't wake up early enough, you've got stuff at home to do it before you do have to start work. You know what I mean? It's just great to have a backup. It doesn't take a lot. A couple dumbbells, would challenge you for upper and lower body, and a stability ball goes a long way, which are those like big round balls, exercise balls that you see. You can do so much with a ball and dumbbells. Then now you can do upper and lower body, tons of different combinations. If you can throw some thigh bands in there, that's going to really help too. So, or even resistance bands. Those are all cheap things that you can have at home to get a killer workout, whether you've got an hour or you have 10 minutes, and it's your fail safe. So if something happens, you can't go to the gym, you can still do it when you get home. You can do it when normally you might have sat there and just watched Netflix from the couch. You can do the workout while you watch the Netflix show. So great backup to have. And some people prefer to just be at home anyway. So then if you need some things at home, so you have the ability and you've just normally had nothing, then get a couple things to get started. And again, if you need a workout guide, there's so many free and very cheap ways to get that done. The First Form app that gives you nutrition checkoffs and habit checkers and however much you want to utilize it, you can, but it gives you workouts. It's like $9.99 a month to have any type of workout you could want. Nutrition guidance if you want to optimize that. Water logs. There's so many different personalities. Some people need to log everything and that helps them. It encourages them. It makes them feel like they're checking things off their list. Some people don't want all that overwhelmed. They just need the guide itself, what to implement. You get that for that. So again, promise you're going to buy a Starbucks worth that month, or you could have an app like First Form that will show you what to do from home or gym, and you've got your plan. Take that off your brain to think about. We're going to talk about energy in a minute. That's another thing that saves energy. So here's the quick quotes that I love from the book, The Compound Effect, that I think are going to encourage you. And then we're going to move on to the other two holdups for getting our exercise done. So compound effect, it's not the big things that add up in the end. It's the hundreds, thousands, or millions of little things that separate the ordinary from the extraordinary. Next quote I love is, you will never change your life until you change something you do daily. I love that one. I highlighted that one in the book. The compound effect is the principle of the compound effect is the principle of reaping huge rewards from a series of small, smart choices. Love that one. Last one, and this is key to close up this time situation with a little bow. The magic is in doing the simple things repeatedly and long enough to ignite the miracle of the compound effect. So here's the other key. People do not try things for long enough. They want just instant gratification. You want to do 1 minute of sit-ups straight and have a six-pack of abs the next day. It just doesn't work that way. You have to do it consistently, repeatedly for a decent amount of time and continue it for a lifetime is the goal if you really want the wealth of health long term. And that's again why it's better to make smaller goals. If you walked 10 minutes a day or 10 minutes 5 days and then you lifted for a little bit, you know what I mean? And you can do those little snippets for a lifetime and you can eat well and, do the things we talked about in these other pillars, you are going to be living well and feeling well and have greater longevity. So it's not going to be going hard and having to do 7 days a week of cardio for an hour and an hour-long workout 7 days. It's not all this hardcore stuff. It's the simple, smart choices made daily and for long enough for you to reap the wealth, right? To get that paycheck and to start experiencing living from that amazing paycheck. You've got to stick to it long enough. And especially when you're getting into a new routine, this is what I tell my clients. You're going to, when you're starting from nothing, you got to try some stuff. So try it for at least 2 weeks, maybe a month. Oftentimes when something crazy in my life happens, like when I broke my arm, it changed up how I had to do things for a while as I was recovering. I had to try things for like a month at a time to truly find something that worked. Or last year when Malia started school 5 days a week, the school's like 35, 40 minutes from our house. That's when I had to transition to doing my workouts and everything just before the day even started because I tried doing it in the afternoon and something always messed it up. And I was more stressed about having to think of when I was going to plug it in the whole rest of the day than if I just woke up early and did it. But it took a good month or two of doing that consistently before it just felt like second nature. And I didn't have to set like specific alarms or reminders about what to do. And I figured out my flow, but I tried other times in the day first consistently for 2 to 4 weeks to see what worked. And when they weren't working, I tried something different. And then once you'll know when you've got a groove, they're like, okay, this does work. It's not necessarily easy for me yet. It's still not a habit yet, but this is the timeline, the time span, and the things that work for me right now. Then when variables still happen, like for example, with me, the puppy. So I'm still waking up and doing my workouts at 5 a.m. But let me tell you, that puppy has thrown off the ease of that groove. Then when variables happen like that, or minor season shift, not big enough to shift your routine yet, but seasons will shift your routine. You have to be willing to pivot for a season shift and find the new thing that works. But when you find something that works and there's little just nuances that want to mess it up, you have to push through. It may not be the best workout of your life. It may not be the best cardio session. I can't tell you, today alone, I had to pause the treadmill 4 times in 30 minutes to hop off and deal with the puppy. Mommy, the puppy's got a ponytail holder in his mouth. Jump off the treadmill, pause it, take the ponytail thing out, put it up, hop back on. Mommy, he's pulling the blanket off the thing. Hop off. Like constant, but push through. I'm not gonna be like, oh, screw it. This cardio session is done. It's worth nothing. It's not. So get back to it. Press onward despite the variables, despite the things that want to throw it off. Press onward. I promise the reward is worth it. And the push through solidifies in your brain the priority of it, the value of it, and it's going to make it easier for you to keep doing. It's building resilience muscles that are just as valuable as the other healthy factors that are included in the exercise. So that's all dealing with time. I know I spent a while on time, but that is the number one excuse that we hear, or the number one roadblock that comes up in my 17 years of training is time. So that's why I spent the longest on that. And a lot of what I said there will cascade into these other two that they won't take as long to go through. But okay, I'm just too tired and I really just have no energy. I feel you. I work full-time hours total, part-time at my practitioner job. The other half is at home, working from home, juggling the kids, juggling the puppy, other life things, the house things that need done, the extracurriculars I have to go do. This week, Malia's in tennis camp. It goes from 6 to 8 p.m. I normally crash by 9 p.m. Like it's just so, or I want to. It's not been that way for summer, but I'm tired. I am tired as heck. But I would be more tired if I did not exercise. But I've already learned, luckily, years earlier, that you're actually way more tired when you don't move your body than when you get moving. So scientifically, literally, studies have shown that low to moderate intensity exercise reduces fatigue by 65% on the technical side. Then it also reduces fatigue 20% just based on human perception of their fatigue. Not even talking about on an actual cellular level, but someone's perception of their fatigue. So as much as it seems backwards to be like, I should wake up earlier than normal to expend more energy when I feel like I have none, I know that seems backwards, but I promise you, it will flip. You need to expend the energy to get more back. And so I wanted to throw a couple quick little sciencey things your way just so that this can make sense to you, because I hear you. You're like, that makes no sense. I'm going to expend more energy when I have none, and I need everything I've got for this whole crazy day I've got going and this whole crazy week and whole crazy month. I hear you. But exercise creates energy because at a cellular level, you're building more mitochondria. This is a cellular thing that produces energy for you on a cellular level. Exercise teaches and strengthens your body to use oxygen and fuel more efficiently. So when you're more in shape aerobically, you're not going to be as out of shape, and even just your normal daily activities, let alone things that normally would get your heart rate up, like chasing your kids or whatever the thing may be, like you're consuming less energy when you're more in shape in your day-to-day regular activities. So now just on the daily, you're not feeling as fatigued because internally you're more in shape aerobically. So then exercise also reduces inflammation that drains your energy. So many people don't realize when you're static, there's a lot of just cellular junk that just stays in your body. And I always tell people we need to flush out the inflammation. We need to flush out the fatigue. When you get a good sweat sesh in, or you get moving, you get that blood flowing, you get your lymphatic system flowing, you are literally flushing out crap that needs to get out of your body so that your cells are clean and your bloodstream is clean and your lymph system is clean and cleared of what the debris that it needed to get rid of, especially depending on what your nutrition is. It needs to flush out the stuff it doesn't need, and you will feel so much better. You literally will flush out the fatigue. And so it's a super real thing. And so many people, the first benefit you'll feel when you really get into an exercise routine is you're going to feel better on a cellular level, like so much better. You're going to feel stronger. You're going to feel fitter. Even if you don't see the scale change, you're going to feel like it should have changed, because on a cellular level, the difference has already started very quickly. Within the first week of being consistent, you're going to feel that. Week 2, you're going to feel like miles ahead of where you were internally. Even if the scale hasn't changed, you're going to feel that difference. And that is really the biggest thing, that our biggest goal over a 6-pack of abs. Like, not even everybody desires that. It's how you want to feel good. We all just want to feel good, right? Feel good in our skin, just literally feel good. So we feel like we can actually enjoy the life that we're living, the life that we've created, the goals we're pursuing. We just want to enjoy life and live it to the fullest, right? So the last thing is consistent movement improves, I already mentioned that, energy perception by 20%. So again, literally 65%. Perception even alone, 20%. So as much as it might seem backwards, I promise you, get moving and you are going to have more energy than you started. And the energy obstacle will not be the obstacle anymore. We're going to get more back into the time will be the obstacle to make sure you continue to manage. Motivation. And we'll get to that in just a second. So here's some more strategies of how to help with the energy situation. Okay, start with, again, a low barrier of entry. You're tired. It's going to be harder for you to make the move for your health if you think you've got to launch to lifting weights 5 days a week for an hour, and then also cardio for 5 to 6 days a week for 30 minutes. That's going to be hard because you're tired already. Okay, so start small. I always like to start people with our goal, besides those other pillars that we've worked on as far as nutrition and things, because that is all going to influence your hydration, your nutrition, your protein. Those are all things that are going to up your energy as well. So besides our small starting goals that we've made there that I mentioned in the past episodes, how to start small there and work your way up, then with the movement stuff, the World Health Organization recommends like aim for 3 days a week of lifting weights. There's so many benefits to that. We've talked about that in the previous episodes. 3 days a week for that, and 3 days of something that's cardiovascular. walking, swimming, whatever it is you enjoy. Okay. So 3 days for each. They can be the same day, they can be separate, and they can be 10 minutes. So you could do 10 minutes of walking, you could do a 10-minute focused lifting session. That's fine. 5 minutes, whatever the barrier entry is. And if once that gets easier for you, the ultimate goal, again, World Health Organization, is like to be able to do that for 30 minutes, 30 minutes of a cardio activity, 30 minutes of a weightlifting. So if we can work up to that, and then for someone like me, I love to weightlift. It's like therapy to me. I enjoy it. And so it's play. I played sports my whole life. And since I'm not playing sports now, it's like the sport I can do that plugs into the rest of my life, you know? And of course, it's part of my work as well. So I like to lift for an hour. I don't have to, and I have not done that in a lot of the previous seasons of my life. Like when the kids were little, it was 15 to 20 minutes when they were in newborn phase and they could wake up at any moment screaming. It was short, focused, nail it, whatever I can get done. Healing after giving birth, I couldn't jog. I couldn't walk that fast. So I just did what I could. I'd walk slow and I'd push the stroller and I just did what I could. I tried to make it to 10 minutes, and when 10 minutes got easy, then I upped it a little bit. So just as you start getting more of the habit built, where it plugs into your day, getting used to that routine, then expand the time frame a little bit and aim to work up to 30 minutes. And if you're just really loving it and you're like, oh, I love this like weightlifting stuff now. If you want to do 45 minutes and you can see that time block in your schedule, then do it, you know, but don't start with going so hardcore. Take smaller starting points, set the bar low, but make it a bar, right? Make it a standard, not a goal. And again, this is going to get your energy boosted. So you'll have additional energy to then keep improving upon it. Again, pick activities that you enjoy and try to start with those and use those. And then when you need to switch it up with something else if you get bored. And then again, play with the time of day. If you're struggling in the morning, try it in the afternoon on your lunch break, or try it in the evening. See what feels the best. If they equally all feel the same level of difficulty, then I say knock it out in the morning. Then it's done. You don't have to think about it. Check box. You've already started your day with a success. You've already nailed your to-do list so far. So that's what I say. If it all feels sucky at every point of the day, then knock it out first thing. Then it's done. you know. So last thing about this is exercise is going to, again, as I mentioned earlier, help you sleep better. So that's going to give you the additional fuel to each next day, cascading and compounding along itself, to give you additional energy to do all of the things. So once you get lifting, you are going to get deeper REM sleep, better quality sleep, and that's going to make a huge difference for you. So, and if you can try to prioritize your sleep as much as you can, if you can, get whatever amount of hours feels best to you. And sometimes you have to play with that because, standard is like what, 7 hours, I say, 6 or 7 hours, or 6 to 8 hours is sort of the ish standard. I do feel like some people don't need as much and some people need more, and you just have to learn your body. I can function really well on 5. Like, I don't feel like I need 8. Sometimes if I sleep 8, I wake up feeling worse. I feel more tired. And I think it's just because I've had to wake up early for so many years of my life to get all the things I want to do done, that it's just my circadian rhythm. So find what feels best as far as even the amount of hours. Maybe you thought you needed a bunch, but you need less. Maybe you're not getting enough and you need a little more. So sometimes that's something to play with, but you will sleep deeper however many hours you're sleeping if you start exercising, and then you will feel that energy response the next day. So the last thing I want to say in this section, which we mentioned earlier, is having a plan for what you're going to do relieves the mental fatigue. And I can't tell you how huge a barrier, huge an obstacle that is for people in the energy department. Is so much of your energy that's spent about not regretting, worrying about the workout is just not having a plan. The lack of organization, how much energy it takes if you're not someone that naturally can think of a workout. If you just had a workout like from the app, you don't have to think about it. So you don't have to worry about that. That's not like a little worry seed that's in your brain in the back of the day. Like, oh, I'm only gonna have this 30-minute segment to lift today because I've got all these other meetings around it. What am I gonna even lift? I don't even know what to do for this body part. What should I work on to reach my goals? Well, then use an app or get a free ebook or get a cheap ebook, right? Type it in a chat GPT, there are options. And if you can have as much a plan laid out, you will relieve the fatigue of your brain so much. And again, this is just why I'm another proponent of if you can do it first thing in the morning, I'm telling you, that little worry seed or that little guilt seed or that little nagging thing in the back of your mind that stays there all day of worrying about how am I going to fit it in? Where am I going to fit it in? Again, unless you just really thrive upon workouts later and you just enjoy that, it's mentally like that's your emotional therapy place you like it to be to break up your workday or to finish the workday before you go home. Like that's fine. If you don't care either way, then getting it done first thing in the morning. It doesn't sit in the back. And that's what I was finding with the girls with their school. Like when I didn't do it first thing, my brain was literally strategizing all day long where I was going to fit it in between work and getting the kids and then not wanting to take time away from the kids because they'd been at school and so I wanted to be with them. So overall, I just felt so much better emotionally knocking it out in the morning because I got to feel good physically because it was done. And then I got to feel good mentally and emotionally because it wasn't on my to-do list to plug in and I didn't have to take time away from hanging out with my kids later because it was already done. So for me, that's what works. So just start thinking through some of those things and plan out as much as you can because the relief of that mental fatigue is a huge, huge game changer. So the last thing that we're going to go into is this whole concept of lack of motivation. And I'm sure you all have heard at some point, because it's getting more common now that we're talking about how it's not about motivation, it's about dedication. And I've talked on previous episodes, not necessarily about these pillars, but I think I even have a whole episode on how shift the way you talk to yourself that goals aren't goals, they're standards that you hold for yourself. But you need to, number one, as far as motivation goes for exercise, is you've got to tie your exercise to very clear, emotionally strong whys for yourself. Is it because you want to live longer to be with your kids? Is it because you want to age well and feel good and have as good a skin and hair as you can? And, is it because your self-confidence is very important to you and you don't want to feel like you can't wear any pair of jeans you have in there, or that you need to not wear shorts but wear a long dress because you don't want your legs to be seen, or you choose not to even go to the lake or the pool party because you don't want to have to get in a swimsuit. Like, what's a strong emotional why? Is it because you are pre-diabetic and you don't want to be diabetic and everybody else in your family turned diabetic and you don't want to do that? You want to break the chain, you want to break the sequence for your kids. You really want to be a good example for your kids of what it looks like to be strong and confident and invest in your health and invest in yourself. Like, what is your reason for why? Don't wait for your why to have to be, there's two different motivations that help people get to their goals. People are either motivated by moving towards pleasure or away from pain. Both work, both are options, but so many of us wait until something painful really does hit us, and then we're motivated to move away from that pain. Let's shift it though while we can and move towards pleasure, move towards the benefits of what you want to achieve, and don't wait until you have diabetes and neuropathy and you don't have feeling in your hands and feet. Now you have to be careful because if your shoe rubs and you don't feel it, you could get a wound and that wound could get infected and that could lead to an amputation. Or you don't wait till you've got high blood pressure that can't be reversed and you're at risk for heart disease. Like, don't wait until it becomes that you need to make it important to move away from something that's painful and maybe something that can't be fully reversed. It can just be maybe postponed if you get your health better. You know what I mean? So like, start now. Start thinking of the why. And even if the why right now is moving, maybe you are just more motivated to move away from pain, then think about it again. And that's it. Everyone in my family has had high blood pressure and has had a heart attack. I don't want that for myself if I can prevent it. So now, while I'm good, I want to get better. I want to start this longevity journey and start making these exercise standard for myself and not just a maybe. I need it to happen. So work on your why. And again, set the micro goals. Instead of work out 5 times a week, start with the goals ultimately 3. And if you're at 0, start with 1. Do it consistently. Up it to 2. Once that comes a little more natural to you, then get it to 3. And then just repeat, press onward, even when the little things or the big things want to, get in the way, push through. Try to make it fun if you can. Maybe sometimes people are motivated by making a playlist or doing exercise through something like a sport. I have a client that he does lift weights with me, but his cardio, because he just can't even stand the thought of any other like technical form of cardio, so he plays pickleball. and he loves it, or somebody likes to play basketball or sport. They love to do these, rec leagues, whatever it is that's fun for you. And some people are just super social and they want to do the workout class. They want to do the Orange Theories, whatever will motivate you the most, you know. And some people are motivated by checking the boxes. They have different logs or track lists or whatever. If that works for you, great, do it. Um, at the end of the day, you've got to remember that action precedes motivation. So as you start taking action more, you're going to reap the benefits of doing the thing, and that will motivate you more. You know what I'm saying? As you stick to it long enough, you're going to feel that cellular energy boost. You're going to love that. You're going to start getting compliments on how you're looking. Your skin is looking better. You're looking stronger. What are you doing? You're going to get some of this external feedback or external results and internal results that make you feel more motivated. You're starting to feel a little bit of that paycheck come in, right? The monetizing example, the paycheck come back to you for taking these smart, small steps. And that will motivate you to keep going, even when it's hard. But at the end of the day, again, we have to know and understand that our health is the foundation for everything else we're going to do. If you are not investing in your health, I promise you, you are not performing at your full capacity. You are underperforming in whatever the roles are that you live in life. For your family, your actual job, your business you own, you are underperforming your capacity. And if you want to up-level that, and for a longer portion of your life and experience life more fully, start incorporating exercise. Your health is the foundation of everything else you're going to do. Mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, all of it. It's the foundation. We get one body to live in. You have one. You got to take care of it. You got to invest in it. Like if that shuts down, your business shuts down. Like you can't reap the benefits. It's important. You've got one body to live in, right? Take care of it. You are your home inside here. So you've got to take care of the home. It's the only one you get. And too much damage to some point can't be reversed, just like a home, but we don't get to just buy a new one. So you've got to take care of it. It's got to be important. And so in regards to motivation, the last thing I say about that is some days you'll have motivation, some days you won't. What you need to understand is how your health is so important that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how you feel. Okay. So even as far as the job description, going back to the time thing, the level of priority that your health is and that you have understood it to be, when you're in a job and they say you have X amount of meetings and X amount of deliverables that you have to achieve to keep your job, it doesn't matter how you feel that day. If you can physically go into work, you aren't vomiting your face off and can't literally lead the meeting, or you can't literally make the pitch, or you can't literally do in that way, you're doing it. It doesn't matter if you had a rough day yesterday. It doesn't matter if you're on your period. It doesn't matter if you argued with your husband yesterday. It doesn't matter if your kid was up all night it doesn't matter. Like, you are going to do it because it is that important, because it is a priority. It is on the calendar. And that's what we need to work it up to being, is it is that important that motivation doesn't matter. If you have it that day, fantastic. Ride that wave and enjoy it when it feels good. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if it feels good while you're doing it. You just know you need to do it. You need to exercise for longevity, health, and to truly live the most fulfilling life you can. It doesn't matter if you love it. Try to find things that you can do that you love, things that aren't going to beat your body down, things that are, good for your joints and aren't damaging to you, right? But if you just don't love it all, like some people just don't love any form of exercise, but you need to do it, then just pick something and do it. It doesn't matter if you enjoy it. It's 30 minutes or it's 15, whatever. You get through so meetings that I know in Zoom are hours long and you hate every second of it, but you make it through. So if that's how it has to be for your exercise, then accept that, and it won't be that every day. It really won't. But that's the kind of mindset approach you need to honestly you need to go into robot mode. Once you have found the system that works, then you rinse and repeat it, whether you feel like it or not, because it's on the calendar and it's part of your job description for life. It's part of your job description as a mom, or as a parent. It's part of your job description at the job that you go to. It's part of your job description to show up the best you can for the people you care about in your life and for yourself and the things you want to do and accomplish. And to enjoy, like I mentioned earlier, just to feel good, to enjoy your life and the things, the fruits of your labor. So at the end of the day, motivation will wane. Dedication is the principle we need to build throughout all of this, and standards, not goals. So those are just a few of the key things I just want to popcorn back in here to the end. So at the end of the day, if you're not having motivation, don't pamper yourself. It doesn't matter. Sorry, you're not motivated today, Jeana. This is the standard of your role. And this is the level of performance we expect out of you, and you expect out of yourself in your life, and that you want to have. You know it's good for you, right? You know it's good for you. You know there's value in it, monetarily and figuratively. And so you're just going to have to do it. You're just going to have to not enjoy it today. And that's okay. But I promise you, I've literally never, and I know you've heard this saying before too, I've never heard anybody regret a workout. There's never a workout someone regretted doing. They regret not doing one, ever. You never talk to anybody that's like, man, I did the workout, really regretted it. Never. So the only exception would be if you truly are feeling like a sickness coming on, and you've been very dedicated to your exercise routine and your health things, and you just know something, kids have brought something home from school and you can feel it, and you truly know your body, and you feel like, okay, I need to take a little rest. I need to sleep in a little longer today and just kind of, take a break for a few days. Then do that. That's going to get into our recovery pillar that we'll focus on the next time. But when that's truly the case, versus when you just don't feel like doing it, or it would just be hard to do it because you're tired or you had a rough day or whatever the things, because it's not all looking Instagram pretty. You've got the puppy that's annoying you and all this stuff. It's not just going to be this wonderful therapeutic meditative walk session. It's going to be filled with interruptions and screaming children or whatever. Doesn't matter. It's about making it happen. So hopefully we gave you some tactical tricks today to bust through those 3 top barriers. And again, message me any other follow-up questions you have, because if I have enough that weren't maybe already addressed or something like that, then I can do another Q&A episode, or I'll start throwing them into this final part of the Strong Summer mini series. But message me any follow-up questions. Please share this with anyone you think could use it and needs it. Subscribe to the show and leave it a 5-star review if you feel so worthy that it's worthy of that. All of that really helps the show. So catch you on the next one. Have a great rest of your day. Bye, everyone.